Welcome back to Capras TV, proudly brought to you by Darren Green and the team at Regional Insurance Brokers. Regional Insurance Brokers are located in Rockhampton, Gladstone, Emerald and Biloela. Insurance advice you can trust. Today I am joined by Kane Hardy, the under-21 Colts coach, Capras player number 293. Welcome to Capras TV.
Thanks, JP.
Yeah, really good to have you here today. We'll unpack the under-21 season thus far, talk about a few players and also talk about the game that's coming up this weekend. So 4 rounds in. You've played some quality matches over the last 4 rounds. We started with Wynnum, Burleigh, Dolphins and then just the Sunshine Coast on the weekend. Talk us through how the season's going.
It's a season that we thought we'd expect. Like a lot of people, you know, they're seeing the results and probably questioning what's going on and struggling to go why we're struggling so much compared to what we did last year. And it's a simple equation. This group is very young, it's very raw, they're very green, and they're really not experienced at this level. Where last year, we're missing 24 players from our squad. 16 from that semi-final that played against Dolphins, which, you know, people seem to forget, you know, we're only 2 points away, you know, with 7 minutes to go. So it's all new, it's all green. It's very raw to some of these boys, but you know what? They're a great bunch of kids. And, you know, I've spoken to Lionel plenty of times, you know, the year he coached 21s, he was in a similar boat where it's results and this things like that. But results aren't for a 21s. We're not about here to win grand finals. We're not here to win every week. We're here to unearth our young talent and eventually get them through a pathway to go up into play Q Cup. You know, if it's 2 out of the group, it's 3 out of the group, so be it. But that's the pathway of the 21s. I know it's frustrating, you know, with our scoreline, but that's something we're expecting. And this group of young men are going to be better in the next year or 2.
And there are lots of new faces around. I mean, you can see it in the 21 side, and that is both daunting but also exciting that there are more players around the area and the region to come in and make the level of the Capras 21 side.
And that's what it's about. And as you know, JP, more than anyone, it's our region and we're representing. And if we can get all these young men, you know, and like I was saying, it's not results-driven, the 21s. It's getting them to understand everything about being semi-professional at a young age, and then you find out who's who and who wants to go on to eventually play with the Bailey Butlers, Trey Brown, Jack Madden, you know, Blake Moore, all these wonderful young CQ boys we've got that are representing the Q Cup, that these are the next boys that we can find and filter through to play Q Cup in the near future.
And it's already happening now. I suppose you could say that there is probably, you know, 4 or 5 players that are playing back in the 21s that have done a pre-season with the Cup team.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's a really good opportunity for those players to not only get the training, but then go back and teach all of those other under-21s some of those skills as well.
That's right, mate. And this group, like we're saying, we've got, there's 6 or 7 of them that are only 18. You know, and they haven't even played at a 21s level yet. So you're right, they come back, like your Larson Dale Door, like he's come back, he's been tremendous the last 2 weeks. You know, Curtis Farr come back. You know, he's probably one that, against when we did play the Dolphins, you know, they're on top of the ladder, that were leading them. But to be fair, it was Larson Dale Door and Curtis Farr that led the way for us to be in a position to win. Now, Curtis has gone back up. Larson's still staying with us at the moment, but they've come back being in a cup system, but they're coming back and standing on their 2 feet. And like you just said, they're carrying these young boys as much as they can. But again, 2 players can't carry a whole team, you know? That's where we're learning to understand what this level's about. And, you know, we've had some chunks, we've had some good times. Last week wasn't. You know, we took 2 steps forward against the Dolphins that are on top of the ladder. You know, we're winning when we nearly win the game. But unfortunately, we went 2 steps back, and this is where the learning is going to be with this group. And
talk to me about some other faces. Alami Bully was on Capras TV last weekend. Capras, captain of the under-21s Colts.
Yep.
Salamea, you've got Jake Barham. How's Jake Barham going?
Jake's going really good. And his brother Harry. Good boys. You know, and again, they haven't been through any systems as they're coming through. And
Jake's put a bit of size on, I can see.
Yeah, but he's one that's just blown my mind away. Hasn't been in a system. Some behaviours, you know, you could say, coming off the field, like coming back from local league, but he is absolutely turned. He's one aspect of what this system's about and what we're about as a club, what he's just bought into. He's turning into a leader, and he's getting compliments from a lot of people about everything he's doing on and off the field, and that's part of this journey, and that gives you goosebumps to go, that's what we're about, and he's understanding it.
Alami also said he can be the pest of the team, though, Rooster.
He can be, JP. I've had to, let's say, put the boot up the behind a few times, but it's all in good value. It's all in good fun, mate.
And now you've had experience in the area of bringing players through, getting them ready for Cup. I mean, you've also coached the under-18s there for a little while. This is your second year in under-21, so you can really see that pathway from the 16s, the 18s, through to the Colts, which is where you are at the moment. Really important step, getting them ready for that Cup. And I mean, the club is going really well. The Cup side's performing, and that's a positive for those under-21s coming through and being able to fill those spots for the Cup side.
Well, like the prime example, like Lionel said, the year he had the 21s, and he's been great. His support, he knows what we're doing, he understands, and he can see improvement in some of these boys already. Again, don't look at the results, of the scoreboard. But Lionel said in the position he was in, but look at the team he had, Fallon Peters, Mitch Lamont, Jeremy McLaughlin, even a Peyton Jenkins and a Kobe Williamson at that time, they've gone down south, but last year them boys stayed and played their 21s, experience, went through to another level again, done a pre-season. Jeremy McLaughlin, Fallon Peters, Mitchell Lamont, which we just talked about, the process of what we're about, have all played Q Cup this year. Yep. And this is what it's about. Not results, developing them and getting them to a stage where they go and play Cup.
And of course, like you mentioned, Peyton Jenkins, Kobe Williamson, Owen Paddy, you're not going to keep every player in the area as well. There's obviously NRL clubs looking around at these players, trying to recruit them, and we're not going to be able to keep them all. The Dolphins now helps us keep some of those players here, but we wwon't be able to keep them all. So
no, we can't all put them there. But again, from last year's squad, 6 gone to NRL teams, all from last year. Like, Will Lewis is a prime example. Played 21s, got picked up, and we all can't send them to the Dolphins, but they're going to get noticed. And, 6 out of that to go, again, is part of our system that we have implemented. And, they've been given an opportunity to maybe go to play NRL. But at the end of the day, if they don't, we've made enough that they'll want to come home, and this is where they belong. But
and while we don't want to lose them, obviously it's the best opportunity for the player, and we all encourage them to go and wish them the best.
And again, like we're saying, mate, what we are and who we're about now, people want to come home if they don't make it. Yeah. That's what we, from you to Lionel, to everyone in the organisation, that's what we're making people want to come home.
Yeah, and we've got a big weekend of footy this weekend. Just in around the grounds from the weekend, we played the Sunshine Coast Falcons here at Brown Park. There was a 56-12 loss to the Colts boys and a 26-all draw in the Cup side. So 1 point each there for the Falcons and the Capras in the Cup. But this weekend, a huge weekend, our last home game for a little while. We've probably got about 3 or 4 week break from home now. So we want a big crowd this weekend against the North Devils. What are you preparing for them?
Oh, we've had a good, like we're saying, we've put that in the bin now. And like I said, what we did against Redcliffe, we went backwards. Now we need to regroup. And this week's about giving some other kids an opportunity now. Yep. There's one in Bailey Cabinet, for prime example. Hasn't been picked for the first 3-4 rounds, but you know what? Comes to every home game, wears his colours with pride. He's in the dressing room. His attitude's just unbelievable. So there's some kids that are going to get another opportunity now. But we're preparing to go, you know what? Last week's last week. There's a long time, as a week in rugby league's a long time. So again, we'll prepare next week, and we hopefully that after the meeting we had yesterday, we'll do CQ proud, and everyone that does come up and support them, and we want to get that victory.
Well, good luck for the weekend. I mean, it's going to be a tough game again, but hopefully a big crowd will be here to support the boys at 2 o'clock.
Yep.
So the 27th of May, 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock for the 2 games. Look forward to seeing you all there. Thanks very much for joining us today, Rooster, on Capras TV.
Thanks, JP.
Good luck for the weekend, and thank you very much, and I'll see you on Saturday.